Welcome everybody. Starting a new project. As much as I would love to just talk about cattle and show pictures of cattle and everything else, there's a lot that goes on the farm outside of just cattle. So we'll be starting clearing some land today in this video. Be several parts to this, and we'll try to keep you updated as things are going along. But we got roughly about 12 acres or so we're going to clear in here, and eventually turn it into pasture. And that whole process, hopefully we'll be able to video it and keep up with it and do several videos as it pertains to this. So hope you enjoy. Taking down a couple trees. Most of the stuff in here is relatively small. You'll see me shaking the dirt off of it, and these bigger trees like this, I try to snap the tops off of them just so they're not so long. It's a lot easier when you get ready to burn these if you can kind of manage the length of them. It's a lot easier if you got a much bigger machine, but I got a Kubota KX80. It's about a 20,000 pound machine, so it just takes time, but you know, it works good for what we have here on the farm. It's really all we need. It just takes us a little longer. Clearing with a dozer is probably a whole lot faster if you had one. I guess, you know, they say with the excavator though, you leave a lot more topsoil, which you do. One of the things though is that it just takes a while. You just grab these roots by the bottom and kind of just pluck the trees off the best you can. You know, you can only do whatever the swing radius is of the machine, so got quite a bit of work to do, but you know, you just knock it out, put it in windrows, then we'll take the tractor and pile it up and start burning all this material. And then you know, you're left with a lot of like little tiny 2-foot type saplings, so I guess I'll figure out how to cut those. I'll probably just use a skid steer and form one blade and see if I can't just cut them all flush with the ground. They're not going to hurt anything. Trying to leave as much topsoil as possible. Dozer is much faster, but when you go in here and you start moving things around and disturbing the soil, you do lose some topsoil. You know, even as try to be as safe as you can and leave as much as you can. You steal some, and with the price of fertilizer and everything else, man, that topsoil is like liquid gold. So try to leave as much as we can, and we'll see how it goes. But actually, I cleared off some already earlier on for a little food plot. My son, he wanted to deer hunt some, so we did that back in the spring and planted him some soybeans to deer hunt over. But it's pretty much worried at it all day, and you know, working a full-time job, you get to work when you can work, and so we do a lot of nighttime work around here. Good LED lights, and just kind of sit out there. The good thing with it being a cab, you just listen to some music, and you're in a kind of climate controlled environment, which makes it nice. But it does take a while, and a different day we was trying to grab all the material up, and we made pretty good progress in just a couple of days of doing this. I've got my son, he's actually in the tractor moving brush, and of course my daughter Ashton, she's riding with him. He refuses to work unless she's working, so I don't know why that is. Kids, they don't want to work alone. If one's working, the other one needs to be working. So she's riding around with him in the tractor, and he's moving brush and burning. And I got Pawpaw, my dad. Actually, he's in the excavator, keeping everything fed and keeping the fires going, trying to. But still quite a bit of, not real bad, but we do got some brush and stuff around, and we'll have to clean that up with the skid steer and do some other stuff. Right now, we're just trying to get the heavy material down and piled up and burned, and we usually clear a couple of days, and then once we get enough material, then we just start burning it, and just kind of do that as we go. See how it keep it burning. You can get this stuff burning even if it is green, so I'll show a video on how we do that later on. This is the other side of it, of dealing with construction and farming. You gotta fix stuff all the time. So I got a little bit of a hydraulic leak. So I think it's an O-ring or something in here. We'll see. Take it loose. Take this fitting off. Show exactly what's the leak. I don't know how much hydraulic fluid we're going to lose, but hopefully not too much. But I'm sure we're going to lose some. Oh, lovely. This is why you never have to worry about putting lotion on your hands and going and getting a manicure as a guy. I'm always covered in oil. So that guy is what we're going to try to replace. It's just an O-ring.
Looks like it was cockeyed.
If I can get it off, I didn't bring a pick. I got one in the grease gun though. Alright, we got that O-ring fixed and replaced and put in there, and I think we're good. No leaks, at least for a little while, till we'll see. Alright, now just grease this thing. It needs a little bit of grease. So. Like I was saying, this used to be a cornfield, but then they decided they were not going to grow corn on it, and they were going to put cows on it. And so they come down here, I don't know if you can see it, the sun's kind of blaring, but they dug this big watering hole, and I am not a fan of a watering hole. I don't like them, and I don't like standing water. You know, creek or something where water's moving, it's okay, but with algae blooms, and I don't know, I just don't like my cattle drinking out of standing, stagnant water. So I actually busted that dam and got that water hole drained and let it dry up some, and then essentially I'll use that as another burn pit. So we'll put all this brush here in that burn pit and old watering hole and burn it, and that way the pile of ash can stay there, and then we'll cover it all up. So this piece of property is large enough. It will be worth actually putting electrical and digging a well. I like automatic waters and wells. Golly, I'm right in the sun, so do the best I can. So, lay this stuff out. Never understood. I mean, I guess it's your own prerogative, but I never understood people that own land and just like let it go. Like I don't know, turn it back to woods. I mean, even if you wanted woods, like you can manage it, right? I mean, it's just having property and not doing nothing with it. I guess I don't understand it. Otherwise, farm it, because it is a lot better for the land. And or even if you want to put it in pines and put it in trees, like managed through the forestry service, love to, you know. I mean, trees are a crop too, but just kind of let stuff grow up and go. they put that water hole in a good spot. Basically, all the water off the entire property runs to right here, so they had the right smart water in it. But I got to thinking about it. I'm like, well, you know, I mean, it collects all that water just from runoff, and then, you know, you're dealing with herbicides to keep the weeds down one day, you're dealing with chicken litter or manure for, you know, fertilization, and even a little bit of chemical fertilizers if you use that, and then you got all that runoff going into a stream in which your animals are going to drink out of. And I don't know, I just didn't, I know it's going to be expensive digging a well and electrical, but you lose one or two cows, and you could have had you well dug. That's kind of how I look at it. Maybe 3 or 4 cows, I don't know. Depends on the cost of. But considering this is going to be my heifer pasture, where some of my more valuable animals are, and younger animals. I don't want to take the risk. One thing I can't stand, those things tear up everything. I've already tore off one of my lights. These vines scared me half to death. But see how it is. Things are not perfect. That's for sure. Let me make sure that it's not wrapped up in there. So this is what happened. Tore my light off. I didn't see this vine. And I just can't stand these things. Fire. Anyhow, I have one of these get wrapped around one of my lights up there, and of course I spun around and I didn't see it, and it was around the light and just ripped the whole light off. So I had to fabricate some brackets and re-weld that. Always something. There again, I'm no full-time master operator of an excavator, so I can use one and I can get the work done. But I'm sure people do it for a living probably wouldn't pull vines down on top of them like that, but it is what it is. One thing farming will teach you patience, because stuff's gonna break. You can be as careful as you can. You can have new equipment, you can have old equipment, it don't matter, stuff's gonna break. And it's never gonna break when a good time for it to break. So my philosophy is, if it was man-made, it can be man-fixed. And that's why you carry insurance out on all your equipment. So that has paid for itself 10 times over for me. Try not to have many claims, but I mean, when something does happen, it's nice to have that insurance. And there we have it. That's kind of an update of where we're at thus far. A little bit of aerial footage showing how much we've got done. Got quite a few hours in this project already, so we'll keep working at it all through the winter, see where we come out. Here's a good glimpse shot of that water hole I was mentioning a little bit earlier, and how we're just piling up the brush for a burn pile, and then letting the ashes settle, and we'll cover it all up once it burns down. So of course we got to get which we do have, our burning permits and everything that's needed to follow the law. I'll try to do a video on how we actually burn that pile. It's a pretty significant amount of brush, so we'll keep clearing, keep working, putting the hours in, and hopefully when we're all said and done, this will be a good pasture for our heifers and our younger cattle. So appreciate everyone watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like or subscribe if you like the content. Got any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks.